I've been working hard in the ship of dreams today, doing some research for this retro weekend. Every weekend's a retro weekend, and why not? We go back to 1984 once again to issue number 9 of Crash, where I get to re-review some of the games from out of that issue. Hopefully we'll find a hidden gem, maybe one you've not played before. There's 2 good 16k games in there. Well, whether they're good's a matter of opinion or not. Also get to play a new game, which is supposed to be Certificate 18, where I get to see a naked pixel art lady, which means I've got to have good gaming ability for that, and with my gaming skills that's probably not going to happen. Oh well, it worked when I used the pokes on Samantha Fox's Street Poker. Cheated. And of course we got some more Commodore vs Spectrum, so if you love a bit of 8-bit, join me now on the Retro Robin Show. Start the titles. I need a drink before I start. Goodness me, it has been hot this week, hasn't it? Okay, so welcome to the Retro Robin Show with me, Wayne. So remember, if you love a bit of 8-bit, well hopefully you're going to love a bit of me. What's on today's show? Well, if you didn't listen to the intro, I'll repeat myself. We've got 2 16k games, and strangely enough, 2 16k games back in this issue from number 9 October, where Crash was 85 pence. And of course we've had the new Crash come through, which I've been browsing through. Good to see that Lee Chop Stevenson's Super Hair got an 80% rating. Spoiler alert, oops, sorry. But there's plenty more content where that come from, so get yourself involved in the revival of Crash and get yourself a monthly, well it's twice monthly sometimes, not twice monthly, once every 2 months sometimes you get an issue. He's a busy man now, Chris is, I can tell you. He bet he wished he didn't start that off. Should have stuck to the annuals, but now you've done it, we'll love you for it, don't worry. We're going to have a look at a new game where I get to undress a lady and get to see some naked pixel art. I haven't been able to do that since I was able to put the cheats in for Sam Fox's Strip Poker. Well, yeah. Oh, it's been a while, oh well. As well as more Commodore vs Spectrum. So this is all about a fun gaming as we try to find out if there are any hidden gems, or shall we say great games that time has forgotten. So let's have a look at today's first new game. Another drink. I've shaved my head, got rid of all them hairs. It was double-sided sticky tape, not sweat on the brow that kept them on my head before anyone asked. No, as somebody commented. Oh, if you've seen the post on Spectrum Forever, Spectrum for Everyone, you'll know what I'm talking about, of course. Well, this first game I'm going to try and play. I'll explain what it is you have to do. It's supposed to be a Certificate 18 game, but it doesn't matter. It didn't need to be. It's as good as an R rating, if you ask me. Was Sam Fox an 18 only game? Well, I don't need to put this as an 18 only video because we're not going to be able to get that far because I'm not that good. What is the game I'm talking about? Well, it is Stripping Penelope. And it does have a white tune to start with. Right then. New game. Just listening to the AY tune, see what I think of that. Nice looking brick effect with the words Stripping and Penelope. She looks kind of angry. She reminds me of the school teacher, Miss Wood I used to know. Okay, right, this is what you got to do. Nice starting screen. Should we zoom in a little bit? Way. And hopefully that will stop the autofocus not knowing where to focus on, and we can get a nice sharp clear picture. Keys are QA, OP and space, which is no good to me because I've got a rubber keyboard. So your first level is a platformer. Jump over that, you've got to collect all these objects, and that face there, once you collect that you get the first letter that you need to collect, which is a P. The sprites look like two space invaders, don't they? What are they actually meant to be? I don't know. Oh, why did I do that? Don't worry, Penelope, you're going to get to keep all of your clothes on with me at the game. You don't actually need to jump over that part, because you can actually walk. As long as you continuously walk, you can walk across that one in the middle, which I'll show you now. Exhibit example A. And of course, once you've got all those, before you can move on to the next screen, we'll let the whatever it is go past. See that as you walk across the gap? And this is the bit I find the hardest, is that wiggling thing across the floor. I dread to think what that represents, but that's the first screen. You get to see a knobbly knees, that's great, isn't it? And of course you have to travel across the bottom of the screen to the arrow to get to the next level, which becomes a little bit more harder as you go along. And of course I'll need to collect, and now I've got the E, because I've collected Penelope's face, shall we say. And it's a little bit same as the first screen, but with a few more little extra objects going on. And you get plenty of lives, don't you? I mean, you get 9 lives. My cat's only got 2 left. He needs to be done. Ah! Well, I was nearly there. We'll try again, shall we? So what we're going to do, collect that. But can I jump straight on there? Yes, I can, but we won't. Oh, look. I'm going hopeless again. And I'm losing lives rapidly. This time I'm going to take my time and do it properly. See, the problem is, with space not being the M, it's great if you've got the plus keyboard or the Spectrum Next, but I'm using a rubber keyboard. I'm a traditionalist, aren't I? I just like the design of the rubber keyboard. I'm having to twist my thumb in, and when I twist my thumb in, I don't quite get to press the button right. So I really have to press hard with the space. And that's why I tend to make errors when that happens. You'd have thought that they'd give me the option of redefining the keys, but you know. Oh, see, there again. I need to actually just literally hold space there on a separate. Now this time, get the space down, that's it. Right, we're going to clear this screen now, I promise you. No failures and no pressure. Oh, I nearly walked into that thing. And now what we got to do is make it back. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. Oh no. Take your time, Wayne. And if you notice, you don't have to be pixel perfect either, because you can afford to take a little fraction of a liberty. Oh, we're getting there! I don't know if we'll get any further with the amount of lives left, but we'll give it a go. Moving on to the next screen then. And now the screen layouts are slightly changed, and this is going to be really difficult, that part. Another problem for me. Oh. Well, I have got further. Honest. Well, graphically it's nice. Love the AY tune. Love the ending tune actually. That's quite neat, isn't it, really? And it's very addictive, very playable. Obviously, just because you want to see if you can, you know, that's the whole idea, is to try and get Penelope there to take all of her clothes off. Is that her name, Penelope? I ain't even sure. I didn't really write it on. This is the best bit. I love the listen to the AY tune at the end. I think it's quite bouncy, do you? Yeah. So what did I say I was going to give that? I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. A new game available free on download. One that you should try. Give it a go. And remember, you didn't see it here first, but you saw somebody play it here first. That's bad at games, usually. Don't worry, I'm going to source through all the code and have a look to see if I can poke it for extra invincibility. But you can get stuck sometimes putting cheats in. In the meantime, let's just reset the computer. And we'll move on to Crash number 9 October. That was right, in number 9 in October. 1984 was the year. That's how far we're going back again. Remember, in the last episode of the Retro Robins, we was at 10, but we've gone back 1 to number 9. Because that's where all the fun happens, actually. The first early editions of Crash were teeming with so many reviews. Because they had a lot of catching up to do, I suppose, really. But, yeah. And we're going to take around about 7 to 8 games, depending on time. Out of that, try them out and see if they stand the test of times, and give them the Retro Robins treatment. So let's move on to today's first game. Right, this game was 16k, would have cost you £6.95, which is a lot of money for 16k. Let's be honest, if you bought a pint of beer, would you buy a pint of beer with just that much beer in it and expect to pay full price for a pint? No, so why would you do that with the amount of memory used on a game? I wouldn't say it cost that much to develop. Anyways, it's by A.W. Gilbert. The game is, of course, Dogfight, and it was indeed 16k. Use of computer was given 55%, graphics was given 49%, playability was given 55%, getting started 57%, addictive qualities, however, was only 39%. Value for money, they didn't give a value for money in this particular Crash, but I would have given that a low rating of around about 20%. Just my thoughts. Overall rating then was indeed 47%. So as it's only 48k game, we will have a look at the loading screen if there is one available, but in these early days there probably wasn't. Oh, that's it. And we get to stop the tape. Oh, bleepers, so loud. Press any key to continue. Yeah, okay. Right, there we go. Here's your key selection, which is forward is 1 to 0, backwards is Q to P. So it's 1QP, and faster is Z to space, and fire is A. So it's basically a line of keys. I don't like it, but you know, you could turn this ship that way. So you press any key to continue. I don't think we'll want to get faster, but we'll still carry on no matter what. And you get to choose your level, and yeah, so you need to aircraft speed 0, 0, 1, 3, or whatever, you know, basically. We'll go for level 1, which should be really easy. You can get to choose the keyboard, or you can choose the joystick, which in this case is cursor, I believe. Cursor joystick. I ain't sure. It was early. Well, by pressing right, we've got the fire button, so that's working. And as you can see, you're flying out of the cloud, rather. and if you fly off the side, right, we've got a few hits there. When they fly off the side, they just come out of the clouds. So the best way to attack them is just to swing round, let your bullets fly round. You know they're going to come out of the cloud. You can take hit damage. You basically go around in circles. Oh. And now I've completely disappeared. Right, I'm upside down. Got you. And I've got my first one. That took some doing, didn't it? Once he's gone, you will get another plane come out, and you have to shoot him. And because I'm going to come out of the cloud now, I can chase him. There we go. Which is strange game concept, really, but I've got him as well. That's good. So when you fly off the side, either side, you just come out of that like storm cloud. So it's weird that. Find that confusing. And now if he goes off the top of the screen, he comes out the top of the cloud. And likewise, so it's just hard getting yourself into position. Not impossible, but hard. So it depends on where his flight path is in order for you to have a successful amount of bullets. A bit faster. And I'm always facing the wrong way, so I'm finding it really tricky to hit him. Remember, this is 16k. I don't think you'd have been happy paying £6.95 for this though. Got another one. So you get the general idea. The storm cloud will move from left to right. And I think I'm going to turn around now. Because I'm following him, I'm able to get some really good hits in. That's it, yeah. The idea is if you can get behind him and follow him, then you'll have no problems at all. When you're actually facing in the wrong direction to which way they're travelling, it becomes harder. For instance, he's going that way now, so I really want to be waiting until he comes out of the cloud again, turning my ship right the way round, and I'll open fire. And I've missed him again. Okay, so what do I think of the game? Well, considering he got 5 out of 10 from Crash Magazine, 16k, you can't have everything with 16k before AY Sound, obviously. Yeah, I mean, what they did with 16k for Jetpack was amazing, but this is not on that sort of par. But I'm going to agree with Crash on this occasion, and I'm going to give 5 out of 10. Maybe that's one that you used to play in the past, and I'll remind you of it. Let's move on to the next game then. Right, the next game is called Show Jump. It was an unusual software, IMS software. It would have cost you £5.95 by Richard Tonkin. I believe that's the way you pronounce his name. Use of computer was given 77%, graphics was given 70%, playability was given 60%, getting started was given 66%, clickety click, here we go. Addictive quality is 50%, value for money was usually given 58%. An expensive game for back in 1984, I suppose, but you know, there was games roughly were that before they started going up to a tenner each. And they're still a tenner each today. But this is, 30 years on? Overall rating there was given 64%. We're going to go and have a look at this game now. If there is a loading screen, it is. That is it. And leave tape running. The flashing effect. Used to full effect, of course. A little bit of information there. W139AV was the address, eh? That's what it stands for. Okay, so let's, hopefully that is loaded now. Yeah, right, so there's your key selection. And, unbelievably, even back then, you could redefine your keys. Would you like to change your keys? Why not? What's jump? K. Yeah, I think we'll change your keys. Yes, right, we can go left. Faster, slower, and jump. And there we go. Enter a course number, we'll go for 1. And if you look right there, there's like a little stick thing, that is it. Before you start, you have to go faster and slower by rotating left and right. And you look at the top of the screen, if you see a jump coming up, you will see it coming across there, and you need to time it. And that's your first jump, and then of course you've got to go slower as you go around. Ooh. And it's a time game really, isn't it? I mean, it's a simple idea. And I didn't quite make that jump, but nevertheless, we can straighten up and we'll go for it again. Oh! We'll need to slow right down for the next turn, of course. In fact, if you ain't careful, you will slow right down to a stop. Ah, we've actually got a successful jump in the bag. I don't know how my autofocus is going to do with this, and if you ain't careful, you can crash into the course. The good thing is when you turn around, I mean that little line doesn't look like a horse to me, it just looks like a little line, but you know, you can literally back up and have another run at it. And I'm absolutely dreadful, but you know, I don't care. I'm enjoying it. See if I can get in line. I'm really running through this course now. Oh, too early. You can't take too many hits, of course. And of course I've crashed into there. You crashed into the flowers. Yes, I know. Anyway, press enter to run again. If you do complete the course, which is hard to do, it will give you a time. And that is it. And you can just challenge to beat your own time if you want, or if you've got somebody with you, you can challenge them to see if you can beat your time. I can probably, just with a bit of care and attention, it is not too bad. It's the key is not to get too fast in the turns. Also, and you've really got to... I'm flying through it this time, aren't I? When you start to lose your position though, it can go all horribly wrong. If you don't get enough run up, you've then got to go back because you failed to jump. Oh, I blew the flowers! It's not easy. But it is enjoyable, strangely enough, and it's not impossible. But once you actually do get through the course successfully, and the more you play it, the easier it becomes. It's quite an enjoyable game because you find yourself challenging to beat your own time. And of course, now we can save a snapshot. We can have a go at trying to beat our own time later. So for a simple game, I thought it was quite good, and it got overall rating of 64%, and well, I enjoyed it, so I'm going to give that a 7.5 out of 10. Moving on, the game is also 16k game, and it's a reasonably priced game at £1.99 by Mastertronic. Andrew and Peter Ford was the shall we say, programmers or creators of this game. Second name spelled F-O-O-R-D, if I remember rightly. And it was given a 62% rating for use of computer, graphics 62% as well, playability 63%, getting started 68%, addictive qualities was 58%, value for money was 59%, its overall rating was also, on the second one of today, was 64%. So let's have a look at this game. And I do believe we have a slight bleeper sound. Oh, I love the Mastertronic logo. Do you remember that? Stop the tape and press any key. No! Because I'm going to wing it. Last time you heard that bleeper sound, it was in a game later on called Roller Coaster, but slightly improved upon, so you know. There's your keys, 6, 7 and 0 to fire, S to start. And we'll go for extremely hard. And that's the amount of bullets. You've got to hit the ducks at the top, and of course you get prizes for as I say, you haven't got to hit the ducks at the top. If you can get enough of these out of the way, let's go for the prize. Good thing is I've got all the ducks out of the way by the looks of things, but they'll just keep coming. And you have to wait for the gap, so it's really quite tricky. Just to get one bullet through to the top's quite hard. Yes, I've got one. I just got to hit that spot again now, really. And now we've got a prize. And I've got to get another prize in a minute. Oh yeah, and they do start to move at the top, as you can see, which is another added problem to the... Because they've moved, and now you've got to start and hit the top all over again. I've got a teddy bear. And I've got another teddy bear. See if I can get all 3 teddy bears. Your bullets go down, of course. I don't think I meant to do that, actually. I think I meant to just hit everything else. So, you're not meant to shoot them at the top. You're just meant to clear the screen. I've got 6 bullets left. One bullet left. Game over, no bullets left. Okay, well, after playing it a fairly number of times, I thought it was an okay game. Personally, I wasn't that keen, so for that reason, I'm only going to give it a 5 out of 10, not the 64% Crash gave it. But the concept's there, just like the fairgrounds when you used to shoot the ducks using the rubber bullets. It is that, effectively, on your Spectrum. Let's reset the computer then. Giant's Revenge. I'm not going to like this game, but I'm going to try anyways and give it a good go. It was being £5.95. Oh, incidentally, yeah, for the software company did that, and the programmer, I believe, was Chris Curry. Use of computer was given 70%, graphics was given 78%, playability 55%, getting started was 58%, addictive qualities 61%, value for money given 63%, Overall rating then was 64%. And I have to say, I've played this a few times as well. I've done my research well this week. And I know there's a first for everything. We'll go for the tap file so we can see if there is a loading screen. This could be the re-release, so maybe we should go for the original TZX1. We'll try it anyways, who knows. 48k game, not sure whether this, I can't remember whether the sound is on this game or any good or not. It's going to be a bleeper sound if it is. There it is, the loading screen. And we're loaded. Well, it's a bit freaky, isn't it, that loading screen? You have to enter a colour code for this one in order to play the game. To which we don't need to do that. Yep, I just sliced past it. Right, the good thing is, these are the levels you have to go through, so they can show you more of the game than I can. Which is good, but there's only a few levels there. The first level is hard, but not impossible. So you get to select joystick. In this case, I'm going to use the Kempston's as soon as it lets me. And as soon as you press for the joystick, we have an annoying bleeper sound. There's no time limit, so you can take your time. But you don't want to get too close to the edge because you will fall off. And you get a terrible death sequence. Yes, I can understand we got some attempts remaining. Lovely bit of colour clash there, isn't there? Oh, you've really got to get on the edge to make that jump. We'll get through this first level. Well, I hope. I hope we get through this first level, but it's not going very well at the moment. Hey! And you have to be really careful here because it's so easy to fall off the edge. Oh, see? Oh. You go forwards and you're about to jump and then you fail. And I think this is one of the first times you see the effect of the border used in a game where, you know, where it sort of... Oh, I didn't think I made that. Could this be the last attempt I actually make it off the first screen? Oh no, see, I'm dead already. Anyway, we'll give it another go and see if I can get a bit further. We're here again. And I haven't made this jump yet, so this could be my last attempt. Oh, run, 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 jump when I press the button, will you? Try again. Oh yeah, you can jump. Look at that for a pathetic jump. And you can fall off that top edge as well if you're not careful. Oh no. Oh, I did well there to avoid him. Oh, and I'll give up. Okay, well, what do I think of the game? I didn't like it. To be honest, I didn't like it. I found it too difficult to play. The colour clash was a little bit distracting, and it's a shame it had nice starting graphics. At least it shows you through the levels. I did manage to get past the first screen a couple of times in rehearsals, if that's what you can call it. Pre-practice before I decided to shoot, and yeah. Sadly, I'm only going to give that one a 5 out of 10. I didn't think it was quite up to the 64% rating it was given. If it was a little bit easier, then, you know, maybe. But I can understand what they're trying to do. They try to make it look 3D-ish. At times it can be quite confusing, but that's just my opinion, and remember, as always, it's not going to be your opinion. So if you do have anything to say and you want to give me your input, please remember to leave a comment in the comments below, and I'll try and get back and reply to as many of you as I can. Let's move on then to another game. This game is one I couldn't get to grips with, and I played it a few times because it was one of the very earliest games I had. I did love the way it loaded. The hyper-loading sequence on this seemed extremely fast. A bit like Falcon Patrol in many respects. That seemed fast as well, but that was a shorter game than this. Less code involved, I believe. Virgin Games, £5.95. Charles Goodwin. Oh, Charles. Just love the name. Why couldn't they name me Charles instead of Wayne the Pain? Oh well, that's what my dad calls me, you see, Wayne the Pain. That sort of name drives you insane. And I'm a poet and I didn't know it. I'm not going to go down that road. Anyway, user computer was given 86%, graphics 87%, playability 82%, getting started 89%, adjective quality is 85%. Your value for money was given 86%. Really? I think my idea of what's value for money and their idea of what's value for money is quite different indeed. Well, I did buy Elvita Saint Monty, and that was value for money indeed. And I bought it with the dual cassette, and it was about the same price as that. So, you know, go figure. Also by Virgin Games, wasn't it? No, was it? Oh, was it? I can't remember. I know Gremlin Graphics did that, didn't they? And Peter Harrop was the programmer. Cracking coder. It doesn't do it anymore, I believe. It's a shame. Overall rating then, 86%. We'll have a look at this game. We'll have a look at the loading sequence. And of course, we'll have a look at that, well, strange look of a loading screen. Look at that. I think that is awesome pixel art right there. No single colour crash involved. Perfectly. And there's so much going on in that picture. I just love it. And how fast that was for loading. Right then. Choose your challenge and not to play. Choose your control, sorry. Oh, of course. We got up, down. You have to give it a good press. Fire up and fire ahead. 2 buttons and not to play. So then we just do this bit. Never understood what to do. I've tried it. And then when we hit this there, we land, and of course we can walk through these doors. It's a strange game, and one day I might find out what to play. Avoid, oh, low oxygen, and I'm already dead. Well, explore it anyways. You can start in this room, so I would avoid the fall, so I'll put myself over the big hole. In this case, I'll start there. That's it. This time I can walk out, and we'll go up. I can't hit anything. I'm trying. And that's a conveyor belt, so that's going to move you across the screen. Difficult to control. You can get into a ship. Oh, you have to destroy it first before the ship comes down, which I have done. Using that, you see, it just reflects off it, and once you've destroyed it, you can get into your ship, and then you can cruise around the screen, which I remembered how to do, which is quite surprising. And all of a sudden, you'll be going from a giant-sized man to a small one. Ah, you can also load and save your progress as well, can you? Anyway, as I say, I didn't really get on with that game, and I still don't. I'm going to just kill myself. Not my cup of tea. I never understood what to do. That's probably part of the reason why. And I also found it tricky to control. I couldn't get it to move in the way I wanted it to. So, for me, I'm only going to give that a 4 out of 10. I know it's a shame, and I'm sure it's a bit of a controversial decision, but I can only say what I like, and this wasn't for me. But maybe it's one that you know how to play, and it might have reminded you of it. Okay, moving on. Hyperaction by Silversoft, and this game would have also cost you £5.95. And Ian Hayward was the programmer on this one. Use of computers 77%, graphics 82%, playability 89%, getting started 80%, addictive qualities 91%, value for money 85%. Really? Okay. I'm a tight git. I can't help it. You know. I was brought up in counting the pennies. Overall then was 84%. Played this game before. I've reviewed this game before, so I hope I'll get. I might come to the same conclusion, else I'm going to be a hypocrite. I need a drink. I'm getting through so much juice this week, it's unreal. And Pepsi Max as well. Right, we're going to have a look at the tap file. And we'll definitely have a look at the loading screen. So, this game is, well, you'll see it's been featured recently, hasn't it? So, Hyperaction, Silversoft. Ignore the loading screen because it has no correlation at all to do with the game. It is also rock hard. And I'm going to give it a go. So let's start. The maps can be drawn by random. I had to sneeze then. Right, you need to click the ZXs. Get rid of him there, that's cool, we're good. And the ZX out of the way. Oh, trap 2 of them, that's good, I can do quite a bit now. Once you collect all the ZXs, which I've never done before, you move on to the next screen. Yes, first time. And a different layout comes ahead. So now the screen's blue. And this time you've got to eat through the screen. And once you trap them as well, that helps. So he can't go anywhere, so I can do that. But be careful on what you wish for here. Try again, and if you notice the screen will be slightly more random, I think. Total randomness. But they tend to trace your movement, so... Oh yeah, and if you push a block into him, you die as well. How ridiculous is that? Oh. It let me go through. I think you've only got to reach a certain amount of squares, haven't you? Right, okay, so now gotta click keys. Oh goodness me, look how fast they move. Oh, what chance have you got? Try again. There's a word for a game like this. Stupid pair of scissors. Oh, I wanted to trap you. I wanted to trap you. Oh, I can trap you. Haha. 2 out of the way. No, no, you don't want to go up there, do you? You can't get me. Once you go up there, you're dead. You're trapped. Okay, so that's good. Right, I'll put that there while I just... we don't want to read that, do we? Now I've got a bit of a dilemma here because I need to get that out of the way. So he's not coming. He's not playing ball. Look. Oh, I've run out of time. I tried to get him to come so that I could trap him. But that's the general idea of the game. Now, it really is hard. I've done well to go 3 or 4 screens, or was it 3? Maybe I'm being a bit optimistic for 4. I like it. It's just so random, and sometimes it's so unfair with the way the screen layout comes. You've got no chance of completing it because you're dead before you know it. Strangely enough, you got an 84% rating. Not my opinion, though. I'm only going to give that a 6.5 out of 10. Now, the next game I'm going to have a review at, which I'll do by resetting this computer, is one of my favourites. Why? I'll explain more in a moment. Yes, it's a great game. Why? Well, you're basically going to travel through time, but you need to collect amulets, and then you need to go to the golden amulet once you've collected the amulets on the screen to move on in this game. It would have cost you £5.95. I want to give you the ratings, leave you to guess what game I'm talking about, which you've given you enough clues, so you will probably know before I press the button to load the game up. Use of computer was 82%, graphics 88%, playability 83%, getting started 83%. Addictive qualities 63%. I don't agree with that because I found myself playing it for hours, and it's also one of my sister's favourite games, to which I've got to save a snap file with an infinite lives poke for her so she can play it because she is worse than I am at games. Value for money 85%. Yeah, I'd have been happy with that because as I say, I got more than my money's worth out of playing this back in the day. And overall rating was 84%, 6% short of the rating. If you was on an original CRT with a Spectrum and the slight dot crawl, when you had the loading screen, certain elements looked like they were shivering, but you won't get that with, of course, an LCD display. The game is Cuckatony Wealth by Elite. Easy keys, 3 keys to remember, and it's just QW and 0 to fly. So you start off in the year, well, BC 1000, and then as you get through this game further and further and further, you are effectively a winged man, which would be everyone's dream, wouldn't it? Could that be copyrighted as a use of one of the X-Men these days? Probably. This spot here is where you'll find the flashing amulet once you've collected all the amulets. The first section is pretty simple. There is a couple of tricky parts in it, but generally speaking it's not a problem. You do get plenty of lives. Even the simplest of graphics like the seagull and the bat, those sprites do instantly tell you what it is. Certain things you can land on, like what's red, is okay because it uses more of a colour thing to let you know if it's deadly or not. Be warned, things will drop pretty fast. That it was meant to be a saber-tooth tiger by the looks of things. And those jagged little rocks are deadly. This becomes the first, well, one of the first problems to solve is getting that star, which means you've either got to get in there and out of there before he flies back down, and you don't want to do too early because you will get a collision that you would rather not. I used to like this bit because I thought if you had an oxygen level this would have made this a little bit tougher. But the shark doesn't go up their first routine, and then all of a sudden, if you're not out of the way, he goes all the way to the top the second time. Which you have to time quite well. If you're wondering what AY tune is in the background, it's from Bosconian, and that's one of my favourite games. A shooting up, a classic shoot 'em up, based on the arcade, I think. I've never really played the arcade, but I do love the Spectrum version of that. Found it really addictive. I've played it before now, and I'm pretty good at it. It might be a bit loud, so I'll turn it down. Yes, I spent hours on this one. But what I'll do now is I'm going to go and collect all the amulets, get towards the end of the level and show you the next level. So I'm going to pause the video here, a bit of editing. So I've collected all of the 12 amulets that you need, and I'm about to move on to the next level. When I used to play this a lot, I used to be able to get all the way to the very end of the game and get killed by 3 flickering like star things surrounded by a moon buggy. And it took a long time to get that final amulet, and guess what? The flashing amulet was there as well. But yeah, I have completed this game, and yeah, as you say, if you play it a lot, you become good. The games you play the most, which in this case, I think the arrow dodge, does it? Yeah, that's right. Was this one I played a lot of, and I like the fact you could fly. By pressing the button quite fast, you could almost hover. I like the way it was time travelling as well. So you had flight, time travel, great graphics, nice background. It varied throughout the entire game. So, you know, when you was in the dinosaur eras, you had dinosaurs. Now you're in a galleon and castles, you know. It was just fantastic. So I really enjoyed the game. Now, personally, I gave this a Retro Robin special. From my opinion, it was great. I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Yeah, okay, it was the early days, but for a game by Elite that was such a large amount of maps was great, and I thought it was a fantastic game, and one for you to try. If you've never played Cockatony Wilf, then it's one that you should play along with Manic Miner. Jet Set Willy's a bit of a flavoured, it was good, it was a follow-up to Manic Miner, but I preferred Manic Miner for the first platforming game. Night Law is another game, Monty Mole, and of course Alvida saying Monty. Our games are definitely must-plays for the Spectrum as they sort of defined it. Right. Last week Spectrum managed to get a victory. Before that, Commodore went on a slight run. This week we've picked another arcade game which has been converted. Will it be a Commodore victory or will it be a Spectrum victory? So join me now for some Commodore versus Spectrum. Believe me, it's a good one. Yes, Ikari Warriors. There's a loading screen for the Commodore version. We're going to compare that to the Spectrum version and of course see which one of the two is going to come out on top. Obviously taken from the arcade. The arcade was quite awesome, and yeah, it's not too bad, is it, that for a loading screen? Nice and wide, by Elite of course, they're the ones that converted it for the Commodore and the Spectrum. So we can get into this game now. And I love the way the Commodore sometimes loads. I'm using the Kung Fu Flash, so I'm cheating today. I'm going to load it pretty fast, and but you get the same sort of idea. Takes a few seconds, so I'm going to just whip round this bit for you quickly. So it starts with this scene of the just like the arcade as well, where you crash land, and of course you've then got to try and rescue somebody towards the end. Nice military type sound, and yeah, so we're going to give this game a go, and then we're going to compare it to the Spectrum and decide which one of the two is the best. And I'm really good at this game, honest. I think you've got a general idea of what's about to happen. So you start with this guy here. You fire bullets. If you hold down the grenade, what's different is on this version you do turn around pretty quickly. These are power-ups, but they're just flashing squares at the moment. You get a limited amount of grenades, but I've hacked this version, of course, just to show you more of the game. That way I don't have to try too hard. You become a tank by just holding down the fire button. And by holding down the fire button again, you can... those are mines, you're meant to avoid them. If you was to play it normally, walking across the water can be quite hard because it can be quite slow. So when you get to this part, you're doing really, really well. And then to get further, you need to blow that bridge up first of all, in order to be able to cross the bridge. Strangely enough, he does fire to the one side, which is supposed to be, that's where he's holding the rifle, rather than fire down the centre. So you can get a bit of an unfair problem when you're facing your enemies, because they fire from out the centre of their body, and yeah. Oh, of course we've got to blow that up before we can get through it. You can get a short throw as well. Should we get in the tank, shall we? That mine's about to blow the tank up, which is what you've got to watch. The mines will destroy the tank. And of course, tanks can't go over the water. So if you want to get over the bridge, it's good if you can walk over a mine when there's a tank approaching. You can destroy the tank, which is pretty good. So, you get the general idea of the game. Oh, that was all booby trapped. I like the way the soldiers are sort of half body, but you walk through water, you're walking on it, but when they're in there, they're almost disappear. And we've made it to, this is about as far as I'm going to go. We're going to make it to destroy the big chopper. You're not too far from completing the game. So let's have a look at this Spectrum version. Well, we're going to make the disc one, I think, so we're going to look at the disc. Oh, it didn't work, we'll try another one then. Hopefully we'll load the loading screen. There's the loading screen for the Spectrum, and it's not bad at all, is it really? Nice big, large sound of the Cardi Warriors. And if we turn the music down in the background, which is from Super Hair. You get a sort of military march, and then we get to redefine the keys, of course, and those are your controls. Just had to quickly reload it. There's something I wanted to do. Missed this bit out, didn't I, with the AY sound, so I thought I'd play it. Not bad. So it did have AY music in it, which is pretty good. Where the Commodore also had a great synth sound playing in the background. Seemed a bit repetitive after a bit though, the Commodore one did. Anyway, let's get on with the game. Oh, let's put a bit of... you can redefine the keys, which I could do, I suppose, or we could use Kempton. Shall I use the keys? Why not? I'll do the redefine the keys. We'll try with redefining the keys. And now we're ready to play the game, so what we need to do is... we need to select the player 2. Strangely enough, you have to have 2, so we can start the game. Let's go for 1 player. This time you don't get a landing sequence. However, you do have a nice effective sprite. No A1 music in the background to give it an atmosphere, which they could have done, but they decided not to. Now the power-ups, you can see they've got flashing symbols in them to show you what they are. You didn't get that on the Commodore, which is odd. You still get the trees on the left and the right, or in this case it's just a green border. And because it's a monochrome game, as you go over there, you automatically become camouflaged green. And there's a rocket launch there, but we can just about destroy them. As well as you're automatically going up the screen if you don't hold down. That's the mine. It gives you a little warning of it about to explode. And oh, that's going to blow up. You've only got so long to get in that tank then before it destroys you. But once you're in the tank, you're away. A little bit awkward getting over the bridge with the tank. Of course, you've got to be fairly accurate. We have no problems with bullets. Avoiding all the landmines. Told you I was good, didn't I? Yes, I know, I put the cheats in. But this way I could show you more of the game without me looking completely pathetic, which is what I usually do. You should save your bullets really, because you only got a limited amount. I now got more fuel, so I can carry on with the tank for a bit longer. And I've lost a life. Explosion's not bad. It's hard to judge it really, because with the Commodore one you do get a little bit more defined graphics with the character itself on the Spectrum, because it's a sharper pixel art. But the colours on the Commodore does make it good. But what really sets it apart, and I've run out of grenades, so I'm not going to be able to get any further unless I find a way to die, unless you can destroy them with bullets, so I need the grenades to carry on. Thankfully they gave me some. I'm getting to fire here for me. Oh, nearly, yes, well done. I'm stuck. Can I run him over? Well, you shouldn't survive, should you, if you've got a big tan roll over your head, let's be honest, eh? And of course, I'm going to have to get out of the tank because you can't get into water and while you're in the tank, you've got to continue, so come on, blow me up. We're into the water section, and you are moving slower. Look, there's a moving mines in the water. They call them depth charges. I could do with some grenades, but there's just none coming. That's the only thing with this. If you run out of grenades, you don't get them very often. And you need them really to proceed with the game properly. Give me some grenades. I don't like the slow moving bit under the water. On this one, that rather large helicopter, isn't it, compared to the Spectrum version? Compared to the Commodore version, I do apologise. I'm getting my consoles mixed up. And my computers. So, what do you think? Do you prefer the Spectrum version, or do you prefer the Commodore version? Well, I've come to a verdict, and it could be controversial. But this is only a matter of opinion, and of course today's show is run on real hardware. In this case I'm using the Engo clone of the Spectrum Next, which is as good as the Spectrum to me. I'm using the toast rack in the background to provide the AY music, and we actually did play the Commodore game using the Commodore 64, which is great. So with that in mind, I've now come to my conclusion. Here comes my verdict. It had to be really, didn't it? There was a couple of reasons. One, because of the SID sound in the background just made it more like the arcade. I did find it a little bit repetitive, but it gave it an atmosphere. The pluses with the Spectrum was it wasn't a bad conversion, but it could have been finished off. The graphics were sharper on the Spectrum, but this, indeed, for a Commodore game, was very playable indeed. It gave it the opening sequence. You didn't get that on the Spectrum. Amazing, wasn't it? No opening sequence on the Spectrum. But I just thought the Commodore version was better. And do you agree? If so, leave comments and I'll get on to. I'll do my very, very best to reply to them, of course. In the meantime, mute the sound then. I've destroyed it already. And all I wanted to do was change it into AY. Oh, I'll get this right one day, eh? Put it back on. Oh, I've gone too far. I should go back and re-record, but I can't be bothered. Yeah, it's a victory for Commodore, so you Commodore boys are going to love that, and a justified victory as well. Do hope you enjoyed today's show. Please remember to like, share and subscribe if you do. There'll be more shows coming through. You may have seen my way of explaining how to put tips in recently. That's the way I've learned how to cheat on the Next and the Engo, shall we say, which I'm still waiting for. In the meantime, from me, Wayne Retro Robbins, you have a nice working week or weekend. From me, oh, I do love to say this. I'm going to turn it right up because it's just awesome. I'll get told off for having it too loud. That is one of my favourite AY tunes. Yeah, there's a show coming up as well that I'm doing, a top 30 of AY tunes for the Spectrum. It's called, the show is entitled, Pick of the AY Tunes. Not off. 8-bit pickers. So you get the gist of that, something to look forward to when I'm going to do a full Bruno Brooks version of a rundown of the latest AY tunes as well as some old classics to make the AY chart. As always, thank you to everybody involved for the show. Thank you to Matthew for doing the AY tune you see at the start. I forgot to say thank you for him the other day and I was in trouble. I do apologise. It wasn't intentional and I'll always give a credit to anybody that helps me. In the meantime, take care. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.